In this video, I want to show you a couple features of my math lab real briefly. First thing I want to talk about is the gradebook. So when you click on gradebook, it'll show you any assignments you've done. So for example, I've done one assignment and I've got 100% on that assignment. I watched the 2.1 lecture videos. If I click on show overall score, this will be a better gauge of my grade overall in the course. However, you've got to keep in mind that it only shows what's been done so far. So for example, right now it says, hey, you got 100% on the one assignment you did, but that one assignment you did, it gives you 100% of the 128 points from the syllabus. So you see my math lab homework's worth 128 points. This is not an accurate representation of your grade right now. You don't have 100% in the course. You have 100% on what you've done so far, but for the course overall, if I took it, let me go back to the info and links page. If you go to the schedule of assignments, you can see how many points everything's worth. So you could say, okay, I've done one homework assignment. One homework assignment comes to about 3 points. You can see it right here. So there's 5 sections in there. 5 sections makes 15 points. So each one's 3 points. So I currently have 3 points out of 1,000 in the course, which is 3%. So I have 3 points done. Even though the computer thinks, hey, you've got 2 points done, it doesn't know. So you have to keep very close watch of your grades and kind of do a weighted grade all the time. So what you'll do is you'll say, okay, I have this many points in my discussion board, this many points in my paper and pencil packets, and so on. And you'll have to go back to your schedule right here to figure out where you're at in your 1,000 total, or go back to your syllabus, which is, syllabus is right here. There it is. And you can go back here and you could figure out, okay, I've done, 100%, but it's going to be worth 12% of my grade overall, but I'm not even there yet. I'm at 3 points of that, which would be 3 out of the 1,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you can find a weighted mean once you get through section 3.3. You can learn how to find a weighted mean for your grade in the course. Later on in the semester, I'll try to make you guys a video that'll show you kind of a better way to gauge your grade from the gradebook. But just keep in mind that this gradebook, it's really good. It's really close to your grade, but it's close to your grade right this second. That's not your final grade. Your final grade is after everything is done. All the points are in, all the late assignments have been given zeros, everything. So you have to be really cautious that you don't say, oh, I've got 100%, I'll just do nothing. Right? If you just do nothing from here on out, you're going to end up with a 0, right? So it's constantly tabulating your grades out of that 1,000 points, and you got to be careful of that yourself. Also, just a couple of things. On the course homepage, you can see what assignments are coming up and so on. You can also see your results so far. So right now I've only done one thing and I can see its weight. See, I've done 1 of 78 assignments so far. That's it. Now the tests are not actually required. They're right here. They're called mini tests. I'm going to actually change them. I'm going to change the name to sample tests. Matter of fact, let me do that right this second. There we go. That's the tests portion. You do not have to do these. These aren't required. You can take them infinite number of times if you so desire. They're just there for your own benefit and playing around. I used to make them required, but that was getting to be burdensome for the students. But there's a whole bunch of different tests, questions from different books, different ideas, which of course is useful because one thing students get themselves into the habit of is they do their homework and they use all the helps and solving. Let me show you. When you go into the homework, when you click on a problem, it has a help me solve this, view an example, all these different help menus over here on the right. And that can get you into a false sense of security, feeling like you know it because you can have somebody help you through it. So if you can't do these problems through help me solve this and view an example, you're in trouble. So these sample tests are ways for you to check, do you really know what you think you know, right? So you click on chapter 2 sample tests. Let me just say I'm ready to start. And you can take them tons and tons of times. And I give you a time limit because, I mean, when you take a test, you only have a few hours to take it. So you've got to try to be prepared, right? So there are no helps over here. There's nothing. Now you do have this button because sometimes these are coded wrong or they're just not right or whatever. You can send them to me with Ask My Instructor and I can try to fix them for you. But in general, they're just sample problems, right? So you can click on different questions and so on. You select different answers, etc. Right? And say, yes, I want to leave this and so on. Okay? But those are just there for your own benefit. You don't have to do them if you don't want to. They're just there for your enjoyment and to help you learn. Speaking of helping you learn, there's one other place to help you learn. So the sample test is a great place to get um, new questions, different questions, questions that don't look like our book. And that's the thing you're going to have to keep in mind. Statistics is very much an applied course. So when you go to take your exams, when you go to work on your packets, they're not going to look just like the notes or just like your homework. Everything looks slightly different from each other because that's the way statistics is as a course. It's not like algebra where a quadratic formula problem is a quadratic formula problem no matter how I write it. But with statistics, everything is constantly looking different, worded differently, and you have to be prepared for that because when you use statistics at a job, it's going to be used in a different way depending on what job you're using it for. And I know you're thinking, I won't use it in my job. Oh, contrary. There is no business running in America today that doesn't use statistics somehow, some way. They track, waitress numbers at, Olive Garden. They track, how many um, stints they're using at the local hospital. They're tracking everything, and everything they track is statistics. Um, Businesses don't make decisions unless they have numbers to back it up, as a general rule. Anyway, all right. So the other place besides sample tests to get some ideas for some ideas and help would be the study plan. Matter of fact, I'm going to rearrange the order here. But the study plan right here, you can view all chapters. I showed this in another one, but I'll show it again. And you can see any problems. There you go. So you can click on, let's say, Chapter 5, Probability Gives You Grief. Gives a lot of people grief. I've turned off the sections we're not covering, although if you ever really want them, I can show them too. Then you click on Section 5.3 and ignore the mastery points and all that. We don't use any of that stuff. So you can click here, and then you can click on any one of these problems. All these are possible homework problems. I didn't assign them that way. So, oh, you know what? Let me go back real quick. Let me click on chapter 3 for a second, just because I want to show you. This is how I get the homework problems. So when I go to 3.3, let me say 3.3 number 2 right here. There we go. There we have it. So there's 3.3 number 2. And just like with the homework, you can make the screen bigger. You can make the problem, there it is, smaller, or you can make it expand through the whole page. I mean, it's up to you. You can click on different problems. So in the top right corner, you can see it says 3.3.2, and it'll say that in your homework as well. And remember, that's where I have those tutorials. So for example, 3.3.2 tutorial, my math lab tutorial, I'll show you how to do this problem, or actually the example that goes with the problem, right? So click on view an example. I'll show you how to run the example, and that'll basically show you what you should do for the problem itself. Stuff like that. So that's the study plan. Now the points for this don't count for anything. They don't go anywhere. They're not worth anything in the grade. They're just for you to have extra practice. And there you have them. So you could practice. You can click on practice. You can click on quiz me. It's just a way to, an area to play around and as a student and get some extra help and get some extra mastery, but it won't count for the actual course portion. To get your grade, you have to do the homework in here. And you can't even do the assignment. See all the little green flags? You must score 100% on the lecture videos before you're able to do the homework. So you have to watch the videos first, fill them out by hand, and then do the homework after that. All right, so there's the grade book rundown and the study plan rundown and sample tests as well. So all of that's been covered. And now I'll make another video for you for exams and packets. So I'll see you back here then.